They climb. Who says things in their head?
I like sing to myself sometimes while I'm climbing.
Okay, you sing to yourself?
Yeah, just whatever song's in my head.
Okay, sometimes that can be a really good distraction technique as well. When people get so nervous and they really start tensing up and things aren't going well, sometimes to have a little distraction like that, to pull you out, calm you down, and refocus again. That can be really good. Anyone else talk to themselves? Say the odd thing? Everyone's nodding, everyone's too shy to say what it is. What kind of things do you say to yourself? Pump up, super good.
I
I'm
say
okay.
go fast and like hit the dyno.
Okay, so keywords, right? Yeah? Anyone say anything negative? Who has negative things running through their head? Yeah?
Sometimes.
Okay, can you give us an example?
Like if somebody got really far, then I don't know. I think that I can get really far too, do really well.
Do you ever tell yourself that you don't think you'll get as far?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really common, right? Well, they got there, I'll never make it up there, right? Okay, we do that a lot. We have a lot of different kinds of negative thoughts going through our mind. We have a lot of busy thoughts too, and last time we talked a little bit about what kind of thoughts are happening. We have that one ruminating thought over and over, which is usually negative, something like, I suck, I can't do this, that kind of thing. Or we have a barrage of thoughts, way too many thoughts at once, okay? That could be things like, I can't believe she got that high, I don't think I'll ever get there, oh, I'm kind of hungry, I could use a sandwich, or what am I doing tonight? Oh, I should go to that new movie that's out. Or I should have warmed up better, I really need to do more stretching, whatever it is, way too many thoughts at once. When we're nervous, we don't have the brain power at that time to finish a thought, complete it, and file it away. So those kind of all stay in our mind, and that's what's really messing us up. So what we want to do is to be able to clear our mind a little bit, but it's really hard to have a blank mind, wouldn't you agree? Okay, so don't think of a white picket fence. Okay, how many people pictured a white picket fence? Okay, everybody did, right? We know that that's what happens. We can't clear your mind completely, and if I tell you not to think about something, chances are you're going to think about it, right? We know that's what happens, and oftentimes we say things like, don't fall, don't fall. What are we really thinking about when we say don't fall?
Falling.
We're thinking about falling, right? We always want to flip something around. We want to tell ourselves what to do instead of what not to do. And some of you may have heard this before, but imagine we had a big screen here and I flashed a sentence. I flashed a sentence for 1 second, okay? Most of you would probably be able to read that sentence. Not because you started at the left-hand side and read all the way across, but because you glanced probably around the center, your brain picked up some key words, and your mind filled in the rest. So if that sentence said, the cat ran up the tree, you guys probably wouldn't have started at the cat ran. You would have glanced at the center, your mind would have picked up what keywords? The cat ran up the tree, what keywords?
Cat ran tree.
Cat ran a tree. Those are the words that your brain picks up. Based on your experiences, based on the spacing of the letters, things like that, you'll fill in the blank. Your mind's gonna do that already and you go, okay, cat ran up the tree, even though you didn't get to read the whole sentence, right? We know that we fill in the blanks based on our experiences, okay? What happens is we pick up those key words and our mind kind of ignores all the little filler words. Filler words are the, and, not, don't, all those kinds of things. So we don't really pick those up, okay? So imagine when you're stressed out and I flashed a sentence like that. We want to see, what do you think you'd see? If I flashed a sentence very similar or the exact same sentence and you hadn't seen it before, but you're really stressed out and you had a lot of cortisol in your blood, that stress hormone, what do you think is going to happen? Are you going to see all three of those keywords? And we're going to see less keywords. You might see one or two. Maybe you see cat, ran, or ran, tree, or cat, tree. And then your mind tries to fill in the blank and it goes, I don't know, is the cat sleeping under the tree? Did it run to the house? We have no idea what's happening because we don't have enough information. Okay, and our mind's just trying to fill in the blank with not enough information. Same thing as what's happening when we're stressed out. The more stressed we are, the less keywords our brain's picking out. Okay, if we're really calm, we can switch things around pretty easily in our heads. So if I'm saying don't fall, what keyword is there?
Don't.
What's the key word that our brain's picking out? Fall, yeah. Because we're not picking up those filler words, don't, not, the, and, all those fillers, right? So imagining what's happening now, your brain is getting the signal of fall. That's essentially what you're telling yourself to do. So instead of thinking don't fall, what should I think? How do I switch that around? Keep going, sure. What else?
Get to the top.
Okay, get to the top. I want to give myself commands of what to do instead of what not to do. That's the whole baseline of this little lecture, is just always giving yourself commands of what you want to do. Never tell yourself what not to do. Because if you're really stressed out and you say don't or not, your body's going to take the opposite, right? Has anyone ever heard of the self-fulfilling prophecy? Whether you say you can or can't, you're right. So think about that for a second. Whether you say you can or you can't, you're right. If you say you can do it, you have a much higher chance of being able to do it. If you tell yourself that you can't do it, that's like kind of a command to our body, right? You're telling yourself you can't do it, you're more likely to not be able to do it. So we really have to start paying attention to things you're saying to yourself, even in your warm-up, but especially right before and as you're on the wall. Are you telling yourself not to do things when you're there? Really try to listen to that a little bit over the next day and a half. Try to pick out things that you're saying. Catch yourself in any time you have a negative thought go through your mind. We want to change it into command, what we call a positive thought. So positive doesn't mean sunshine, rainbows, and puppies. It just means it's actually a command of what to do. Does that make sense? A positive command? Okay, something to do. Any questions about that? Good? Okay, comments from coaches on what you've seen in the past or what you would like to have done.
Much. I think it's a thing that you have to practice, right? Like, this is hard to do it when you've got so many things going through your mind. In there, you gotta breathe, you gotta sequence, you gotta know where to clip, you gotta take your rest when you can. You're trying to do all this, and you're trying to stop your thoughts and all that too. So it's something that you have to incorporate daily into your training. Okay, it's nothing different than any other kind of technical drill or physical drill. So the things that Elaine's bringing up here are super powerful if you put them into practice. And the practice has to happen now, not just before the competition. Say, okay, I'm going to start doing this. Because as soon as you get a little bit stressed, usually we'll go back to what you normally do.
Yeah.
And if your normal thing is not to do this, then that's what's going to come back, right? So I think it's pretty powerful. I mean, a lot of people have different things, and you don't have to share your words, or you can share your words. But as long as it works for you, it doesn't matter what it is, right? It can be pretty much anything you want. I mean, I remember Mike Doyle having a story that a kid challenged him to say a certain thing from the crowd when she was climbing because that would help her, and it was really odd. Like, it was a weird thing, and she didn't think he would ever say it. And while she was climbing at a critical time, he yelled out this, and she smiled. And it helped her go on there, like, so there's, not that we're going to do that for you guys all the time, but, it shows the power of this, right? It shows the power of that positivity that you can get right at that particular moment. You're just going to have to find a way for doing it as well, too.
Yeah, we're going to make mistakes, too. You will have those negative thoughts. It's just what you do right after that and how you're going to fix it. If you have a negative thought, if you can recognize that it's a negative thought, awesome. You're already halfway there. You've done the most important piece, is to say, oh, I probably shouldn't have said that. You just need to switch it now. What we like to do is stop and swap. So we want you to stop that and swap it with a command of what you actually want to do. That's going to sort of take away, distract a little bit, but give you something to focus on. Because remember, you can't just say, stop thinking about it, because it's going to keep coming back. So we want you to stop it, swap it with a command of what you can do in that exact moment to get better, and focus on that moving forward.
To give you guys a really tangible example of how this can directly be used in climbing, keywords are great. Confidence reinforcement is great by, saying things like, I have this, or, I'm going to make it to the top, or keep moving, like Elaine was saying. Those are great things to do. But for me, I've used it in an even simpler form. And the year that I had the best results at Youth World Championships was in Ecuador. And for whatever reason, I just started kind of randomly, for the first time in my life, I started looking at the route as I was in the on-deck chair, tied in, and I'd look at the top of it, and I'd force myself to stand up. And actually, now that I think about it in hindsight, I'm standing there in a power pose, unintentionally, and I'm looking up at the route, and I forced myself to actually laugh aloud and go like, oh man, I am in Ecuador at a world championship climbing comp, and I'm about to get on this incredible looking route. This is so fun. I am so excited about this, right? And that gave me a surge of confidence and a surge of positive anticipation. Looking forward to that, and it was reinforcing those confidence hormones that you're talking about.
HGA and serotonin, those happy hormones. That's what we're looking for. The amazing thing is that you guys have all the power to do this, and it's so easy. It's 60 seconds. We know that it can't hurt, so give it a shot, right? What have you got to lose? Does this hurt anybody? We know it's not going to hurt. We might laugh at each other because we look kind of goofy doing it, but you can do it like this too. No one has to know you're power posing, right? Remember to stop and swap those thoughts, but today what I really want you to focus on is when you get one of those negative thoughts, if you can catch yourself telling yourself something you don't want to do, great, perfect. Stop it and try to refocus on something else. That's the whole point of this today. We're just going to start working on it, and then you can really, when you start recognizing it throughout training and for competition, then you really have a better idea. Because it's hard when you're stressed out to realize you're doing something wrong. Okay? Any other questions? All good?
Great.
Awesome. Lunchtime? You guys hungry?
Yeah, how's everyone feeling? You feeling you need food, or people have been snacking?
Ready to keep going?